So you want to get someone to play WoW with you. That's awesome. The cool thing about WoW is that there's something for everyone in this game, so sit back, relax, watch this video together, and just for the first part of this video, I'm going to be addressing this to the person that is trying to be persuaded to play WoW. Alright, let's begin. The first thing you need to realize is that yes, World of Warcraft is a video game, but it is also much more than that. Let me explain. Think about something that you and this other person like to do together. Watch a movie, play a game of basketball, binge the latest season of a Netflix show that everyone will talk about for 2 weeks and then forget that it exists until the next hit show comes out. Some of these are active activities, but others are passive. Watching a movie with someone, for example, is passive. You both sit and are fed information. You don't get to make choices during the viewing about what's going on. Those choices were made for you well in advance, and there's nothing either of you can do to change them. I'm not trying to argue that passive activities are somehow bad or worse than active ones, but many people view these types of activities as something fun to do with their friend or partner, even though there's no interaction between them due to the passiveness of the activity. Yes, you can discuss the movie or show afterward, but I would consider that something else entirely. Now, think about playing a game of basketball. It is an entirely active game. The choices you spontaneously make during the game are derived from analyzing what's currently going on and adapting your play to best suit the situation at hand. The only passive thing about this is when others are currently in control of the ball, but even then you're kind of actively thinking about what you and your teammates will do next. I bring up both of these points because the cool thing about WoW is that it's both an active and a passive activity. It really does combine the best of both worlds. There are storylines in the game that you get to experience passively, but in order to progress in them, you must actively play. Although the story is predetermined for you, you still get to actively play through it, as opposed to just sitting down and absorbing the entirety of it. The next point may sound a bit weird, but stick with me here. Do you like traveling together? Exploring new areas of the world and experiencing new things together? World of Warcraft is like that too. WoW is a very large game. There are so many unique areas to explore. On your first time playing through WoW, it can really feel like you're discovering new things together, even if your partner has been playing WoW for the past 15 years. If you feel intimidated by playing a game on a PC because you never really have before, let me tell you that there's no reason to worry. WoW, although complex and deep in some ways, is a very simple game. Don't worry about having to move and play on a keyboard if you've never used one before for games. It becomes a natural way to play games fairly quickly. And for your first time playing, you will really only be using around, 5 buttons or so, aside from moving. And if you're still worried about playing on a keyboard and mouse, there are ways to use a console controller to play that actually work pretty well. Alright, last little bit here for you, and then you can get back to whatever you were doing before. Then I gotta talk to your partner real quick about the way they should be playing with you when you start playing, because you are going to play, right? WoW is straight up a fun game. Even if you resent video games and hate that your partner plays and is trying to get you to play, just get rid of that notion. It's a negative mindset that will only hinder your ability to have fun with WoW. When I said earlier that there's something for everyone in this game, I meant it. You don't have to like every single part of this game. A lot of people don't. In fact, a lot of the best players in the world only like 1 or 2 things in this game and then just forget about the rest. Give it a shot. I promise if you give it a fair chance, you'll enjoy yourself. Your partner will love the chance to spend some time with you in the virtual world of Azeroth. Alright, you're free to go. Next up, the person that already plays WoW. So hopefully I did enough to pique their interest some more in the game, and I'm going to go ahead and assume that they've agreed to play with you. So congratulations, you've made it this far. Let's get in on how you should play with them. Faction, class, and race selection. Ideally, they'll want to play the same faction as you without you trying to convince them one way or another. But if they don't, just briefly mention what factions are and mention that it would be nice to play the same faction as your main. But don't pressure them too hard on this. If they still want to play your opposing faction, that's fine, just deal with it. Maybe later down the road they'll change their mind anyway. When it comes to classes, don't even begin explaining to them about in-game dungeon rolls. That will just overwhelm them and make them not want to play out of fear for picking the wrong thing. Let them read the info about each class on the character selection screen and then come to their own conclusion. Same with races, just let them pick. The next thing I want to talk to you about is something I see far too often when someone is playing with a new player. Let them explore and lead the way. Everywhere. Don't come hopping in on your main and power leveling them to their max level as quickly as possible. Imagine how that would look from their perspective. You finally give in and start playing only to find yourself just falling behind a super overpowered character that kills everything in one shot. Not fun. If somehow you have it on the account that they're playing on, I would recommend against wearing BOA gear. That will only serve to blaze through one of the best parts of the game on their first playthrough, and that's leveling. It feels good to complete a quest and get a new piece of gear that's an upgrade. Imagine if they never got anything new between level 1 and max level. It's crazy boring. Let them explore at their own pace. Try to pretend like you also know nothing about this game. Are they going in the wrong direction for a quest? Cool, let them. Let them get a few things wrong. It's how people learn. Forget about the optimal way to level and just let them explore. Now, if they are really struggling, then yes, help them out. Don't abandon them. Gently nudge them in the right direction until they're back on track. I want to briefly mention Party Sync. Party Sync can be really great when you're leveling up with a friend that already plays, but I would actually recommend not using Party Sync when you're playing with someone for the very first time. Here's why. I think it's important to be on a completely even playing field with your partner that you're playing with. Because of the way that syncing works, you actually end up retaining some of the skills and talents that you otherwise wouldn't have at that level. And I know that that point may not seem like a big deal to you, but for someone that has just started playing this game for the very first time, it may end up being a bigger deal than you think. Also worth mentioning that Party Sync already has its fair share of issues with quest syncing, so I'd say just skip Party Sync entirely. You don't need it. Level up the old-fashioned way. Also, don't immediately jump into LFG at level 15. They will have absolutely no idea what's going on. Once you feel like they have the appropriate skill level to understand what mobs and bosses are, and they have a solid understanding of how their class plays, then just briefly mention it and see if it piques their interest, and kind of same goes with Battlegrounds. They can be really fun to do together, but only if your partner understands what's going on. That's about it. Have fun playing together, and just remember what it was like your first time playing and try to recreate that experience for them. Let them explore, let them fail, let them learn, let them lead. Don't be pushy. That's all about having a fun experience together. Thanks for watching.